We want to bring in our old friend Pete Hegseth, who's here to respond to all the day's news.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Morning, Pete.
Thanks for having me.
So Trump this week out in Detroit, slamming the Clintons' plan, because, you know, Detroit obviously has been terribly hit. It was really ground zero for the recession. You see houses that are burned out hovels next to other houses that you can buy for $500 in total disrepair. 10,000 homes sitting there. Well, the Clintons have a plan to rebuild Detroit, and it involves Syrian refugees. Listen to this.
The truth is, the big loser in this over the long run is going to be Syria. This is an enormous opportunity for Americans. Detroit has 10,000 empty, structurally sound houses. 10,000. And a lot of jobs to be had repairing those houses.
Isn't this the whole point of our immigration system? The elites have given up on American citizens. They think they're lazy and losers, and so they want to replace them with foreigners.
At some level, yes. It's also the entire contrast of this election cycle. It's Donald Trump saying America can be great. Our people here deserve the best possible jobs, the best possible wages, the most opportunity. And the left is saying we're moving past that already. Let's bring in more refugees who, by the way, we can't count on their assimilation or allegiance. Speaking of Detroit, I went to Hamtramck, Michigan, which is right in the middle of Detroit, to do a report for this very program. It's not clear that refugees coming here from Syria or elsewhere, if they're just plucked and placed, are here to be a part of American society. There is a ghettoization. There is a place where they live amongst each other and they don't integrate the way we'd like to. Doesn't mean they're not Americans. Doesn't mean a lot of them don't want to live here peacefully. But we got to be careful how we integrate.
I'm also kind of insulted the idea, and I'm sure contractors are insulted this morning. People have to go many years of getting electrical trade just to assume that 10,000 Syrian refugees all are contractors, all know how to use a circular saw.
I mean, I'm from Minnesota, and you can't count on that. So, I mean, who knows? No, it is. And to think that if for certain, placed in these homes, in these places, they're going to be productive members of society without the language, without the cultural. There's a difference between a striving immigrant, I think that's what we forget in this discussion, who fought to get here and said, I want a better life for my family, and a family plucked out of the Middle East in the middle of civil war and placed in the United States. They don't know where they're going to go.
It's so unfortunate that when we talk about Detroit, one of America's great cities, the Motor City, and we talk about corrupt government, failing schools, crime, drug addiction, all of that going on, it's awful. So maybe this could work. Possibly. DHS says this is the United States of America. Taking in refugees at times of crisis is the right thing to do. Hashtag refugees welcome. Could we bring the refugees in and somehow enforce assimilation? And is that possible?
We haven't done it so far. The left just says if you don't want them in, you're racist. Same thing happened in Minnesota, where I'm from. Our governor, Mark Dayton, said you're un-Minnesotan if you don't welcome every single refugee. Except we're sitting there going, wait. The first generation didn't learn English, so they're not integrating. And the second generation's allegiance is at question, and they're going to fight with ISIS. I'm not a racist. I just want the people that live in Minnesota or Detroit to be a part of my country, the fabric of my community, part of the social contract of what it means to be an American. Not to stay, not learn the language, and to effectively enforce certain mores and social mores.
We refugees would be hardworking, would they not? And if we did teach them the language and teach them the culture, and I mean, is it really a bad idea?
If we did, and if we did demand that they were a part of the fabric of America, it's never been a bad idea. That's what every wave of immigrants has done. But it's not clear that in a lot of these groups that there's a willingness or a desire to do so,
wait a second. What about the democracy component? Because I grew up in this country learning that we were in control of our own government. I haven't heard anybody in power on either side solicit the opinion of American citizens on what we should do about immigration and refugee resettlement.
Oh, we're soliciting the opinion of the American citizens. It's called the rise that is the reaction to Donald Trump.
Exactly.
People are saying we're sick of open borders. We're sick of elites plucking people from other places and telling us we need to live in this multicultural utopia that we've been told is the best way to live. When, hey, we've always welcomed waves of people, regardless of their skin and religion. But we want them to want to be here. We want them to love America. We want them to invest in our communities, not sort of tell us to change to them. That's, I think, what Donald Trump is reacting to.
You know, and nobody in Washington has learned that lesson. They look out on all this and they say, lesson, Americans are stupid and bigoted. It is not penetrated. They have not learned one thing from this entire Trump candidacy.
Frankly, on both sides of the aisle.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
We are so happy that you're here today. Nice little spirited debate we had. Your kids are coming on for Cooking with Friends.
They are. I think I can hear them in the hallway. Yeah, we're going to be grilling some pizza and some steak for football season. We're pretty psyched.
I like how you eat.
They are so cute. All right, Pete, thanks.